Hello, it's Oopsy Daisy. I'm Ashley.
And I'm the coolest Vanessa.
Oh dear.
Listen, let me toot my own horn for once.
Mm-hmm.
I
thought you were going to toot your horn.
Oh. No, that was it. That was it.
Okay, so like as always we've been saying lately, it's been a while. But mainly my fault, and I am very sorry about that.
How is it your fault though? Like, I moved also.
Well, okay, so a lot of stuff's happened, okay?
I moved, I got a new job, all that
Well, that's one reason
shit.
why. Because Vanessa got a new job, that means that she's working all throughout the week. And by the time she gets home, I'm like a couple hours away from sleeping.
No, you're like going to bed when I get home. Let's be real.
Watch my shows, okay? So it's like not a good time.
When are you getting Disney Plus, yo?
It doesn't come out till like November.
I'm ready.
Because Vanessa's going to steal my Disney Plus.
Yeah, I'm ready for Lizzie M. Let's be real. The only reason why anyone's getting that shit.
But anyway, my parents, namely my mother, they stayed for like a month and a half at my place. And I have a very small apartment. There's only one bedroom. So they were like camping out in the living room the whole time. And that means I had no place to really record this without being awkward.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you like hide out in the living room? Because anytime family visited me, I got kicked out of my room every time.
Well, I actually have to go to work every day, so they didn't take my room.
Oh, okay, makes sense.
But they were in the living room all the time, and just like my whole setup's in my bed, in my like living room area. So it just wasn't convenient. Then also we had that hurricane false alarm for at least me. It didn't reach us, but we didn't know that for the longest time. Oh yeah, and then I got a dog.
I hate his name so much. It's so basic.
Oh, no.
Like, I know why you named him that, but like, please tell me his actual name is Bartholomew, and then for short you call him Barry.
I just call him Barry. I can't even spell Bartholomew without like,
Listen, I spelled it just to you a second ago.
Yeah, but I don't know how to spell that. I always spell it wrong, and it just doesn't look right.
You don't look right. That came out really mean.
Yeah.
My bad.
Alright, so today, as you can see in the title, we are going to delve more into the Survivor Daisy idea that we have.
That's just because it was a thing that has happened now, and it's actually being...
This season, they have their first Canadian player. And once I saw that, I was like, this is exactly what was happening kind of in our story, where they realize that they're accepting Canadian players now. You know, Derek applies to join the show, and he also jokingly submits something for Casey.
I just want to point out that this is kind of double dipping, just because we've kind of already did some Survivor stuff. Mm-hmm. But we're doing a whole episode on it. We're going to essentially, with our voices, write out this story with you, guys.
This is going to be intense.
Yes.
So, I wish I still knew where that first half chapter that I wrote.
You wrote it.
I am so mad that I can't find it.
Yeah, because I have no idea what you wrote at all. So I'm like...
It was basically just her finding out.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Because, she comes in and is like, Derek, did you, sign me up for Survivor? And then, of course, Derek just, laughs. He's like, yeah. And then she's like, I got it!
And then he's like, what?
And so she's going to be just freaking out because she's like, I don't know the first thing about, being on an island and living off the land. And, she'll just be like, I'm just going to deny it. I'm not going to do it. And then Derek, he kind of wants to see her go on just to laugh at her for one. And two, hopes that if she does get any substantial money out of it, that he'll get some of it.
Probably, let's be real.
That will be his thought process for the most part. So then he's telling Casey, hey, you win $1 million if you win. So just think, you could pay off your college debt. Like, that's the perfect way to get Casey
So,
to do
are they
anything.
in college at this point?
I would say they're just out. Just grad. I picture them
Mm-hmm.
just graduated college. So it's just like the perfect like in between. Maybe she's not sure what she's gonna do with her life despite getting a degree. Like she's kind of like in a midway to. So she's like, why can't I try this? Like
Yeah.
nothing else is happening right now. Because of course Derek might have a job somewhere, and Casey's the one looking everywhere and trying everything, but still not succeeding
Okay.
because she's trying so hard. That's just what I see. So she'd be like, you know what? Fine, I'll do it. So Derek's going to.
She's accepting it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Derek is probably like, yeah, do it. But I think he's gonna be like super mad because she doesn't watch the show or anything, right? So he's like resents her the whole time, pretty much, even though he kind of forced her into it by saying you could pay off all your pay off and have so much money left over, so much money. Do you think he's gonna help her at all, like prep?
Yeah, because, she'll be like, I don't know how to make a fire or anything like that. I could see them also, like, her wanting to watch some of the old seasons just to get a feel for it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, she'll ask him questions. It's like, well, what does this mean? Why did they do that? Like, and then by, like,
Mm-hmm.
the mid-season, she's, like, all into it. But I think Derek would help her, maybe, at least start a fire, something like that.
Do you think he just sets up like little workshops, skill workshops?
Derek, when he gets intense about stuff, he can. Like, I could see it.
Oh man, that's just funny. I believe it. Like, just see him have come outside, meet me there in like an hour, and then there's like a little fire pit station, and like all these little things.
But yeah, so and then in that first season, we predicted that she would do pretty well because she's kind of like an underdog. Like she's just this like pretty girl, just fresh out of college.
Mm-hmm.
Like no one takes her too seriously. I could see her like even Derek telling her, "It's like, listen, you gotta bite your tongue sometimes."
Just
like
don't fucking open your mouth.
Right, just be nice, be kind, don't try to step on anyone's toes, like, because Casey, if something happened, she would be like, well, now, and just, like, start, like, going off.
Mm-hmm.
We see Casey doing really well. She utilizes her helping nature and kind attitude.
Mm-hmm.
She would make sure everyone was content and probably be able to get along with most people, I think. Just fine.
Yeah, I think we had her as because of all the studying she did, she was pretty much like the gatherer.
Mm-hmm. Because of all this the stuff that she studied. Like she was just so resourceful that everyone,
Pretty much used her to
that's how they got their
survive.
food, that's how they made the fire, that's how they made the shelter. Like she made a lot of the stuff around camp good. So everyone kind of like felt like they needed her, which is how she made it so far probably that first time.
Yeah, I would say so. I think
We have her wins most of the individual immunity except one, which gets her voted out.
yeah.
I don't know about
No, but
that.
because usually what I've noticed when watching the individual stuff is a lot of brain teasers,
Oh, balance.
balance, brain
Probably
teasers
it's
and stuff.
balance and endurance.
And I think
Yeah,
she
Casey's
could do
pretty
that.
good at
Not a
that.
lot of individual immunities or physical challenges.
That is true. That
They're
is
always
true.
the group
Plus, if they
ones.
do have like a puzzle, she'd be good at that as
Yeah,
well.
it's those brain teasers
So yeah. I guess that does, which is why she eventually, maybe like they were cool with her up until individual
where she
immunity,
really
and then
shined.
come visual immunity, they were like, shit, she's
Yeah,
good.
so
She's going to win if we don't vote her out the next time she loses.
exactly. They're like, we'll get her next time, and then she wins, and they're like, guys, and then she wins, and they're like, guys.
So yeah, right as she loses the first time,
See,
um, they take her home. So and then she makes it to the final 5 only to be blindsided, which if you don't watch the show, blindsided is when you get voted out without even knowing.
Like you're part of, like you made up a pretty much a plan with a bunch of people without knowing that they had a plan to get you out the whole time on the side.
So if you went into this tribal council, that's where they eliminate everyone. You went in thinking you and like 4 other people are voting for this other person. But then at the end of it, it seems like everyone was voting for you. So you just completely got blindsided.
Yeah, so you're the only one who voted for that one person, and then everyone else just went like, Casey, 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 Casey. And then she's just like, I can't believe you've done this.
But then she becomes part of the jury. So that means that she gets to help pick
who wins.
Who eventually wins. So, and then we envision after the fact that her and Derek would watch the show, like her whole season together. And basically, the whole time, Derek will argue with her about all the decisions she's made and how she should have done them better.
Yeah, pretty much. I would have thought, because, like, I know we said she gets blindsided, but I would have thought she would have realized the second she lost that she was going home.
Well, I think also, this is something that Derek could tell her. It's like, Casey, you won every single immunity challenge up until that point. What did you think was going to happen?
Exactly.
And she'd be like, well, I thought I had good alliances.
I thought people liked me.
I thought I could trust them. Me and like John and Billie Jean.
Billie Jean. We were really good friends.
Said we were going to be the final 3. And he's like, they said that to every single other person.
But Billie Jean!
Yeah. We were together since the beginning. Yeah. Well, Billie Jean's a backstabber. Okay.
I thought you were about to say a pastor, and I was like, what does that have to do with anything?
That'd be even worse.
Yeah, I was like,
she's such a beast. Like, she's a nun.
she can't backstab me.
I thought, if anything, Billie Jean the nun wouldn't lie.
Oh man, Billie Jean the nun.
Could you imagine? And I don't know.
Okay,
cast or anything
let's think about who would be in this season now that we've come up with Billie Jean the pastor or the nun. Who is in this season with us?
What do you mean?
Like,
who's
the other contestants?
Us? I don't know, because I don't really think it matters.
But I want more backstory now that we got Billie Jean the nun. Like, I feel like it would be iconic if we had Billie Jean the nun who had to be teamed up with, like, an exotic dancer.
She's the one who won.
The exotic dancer or Billie Jean? Can you imagine? Imagine that. It's like Billie Jean the nun, and then...
Because she swore to give all her $1,000 towards, a good, godly cause.
I'm wildly, like, I can't. Just Billie Jean the nun, and she's in an alliance with Dark Chocolate, the exotic dancer.
And then you had Casey. That was her
That's her final 3. Casey, Billie Jean, Dark Chocolate, the exotic dancer.
Oh my god.
And it's not dark with a K, right? It's like DARQUE. Dark chocolate.
It's
exotic. And that's the alliance, and little did Casey know that the prostitute, exotic dancer, and the nun are working together behind her back.
They're actually in a closer alliance with who else? Who's going to be that 4th person that essentially worms their way into Casey's...
Okay, I gotta write some names down here. This is intense. So we got Billie Jean the nun. Billie Jean nun. Dark
who else?
Chocolate.
Come on, who else?
Exotic
We need someone else who's like really odd.
Um,
Like the last person you would ever think would be like on
let's come up with a
Survivor.
name first. You come up with a name, and I'll come up with a occupation.
I was gonna say Jan.
Jan, that's it, Jan. Okay,
Jan.
Jan is going to be an ostrich farmer.
Okay, a farmer. That
An
that can
ostrich,
be
sorry,
good.
an ostrich farmer. No, breeder, ostrich breeder.
Oh my
She's an
god.
ostrich breeder.
Why?
Okay, so that is the secret alliance that Casey was on the outs with. An ostrich breeder. An ostrich breeder. No, no, we gotta change this. This has to be super iconic. So you got the nun, the exotic dancer, and then we're gonna have some fucking like scientist to contradict the nun.
Ooh, yes.
An
Yes.
evolution theory
We need
person.
how about her name's Caitlin?
Is this a new person or Jan?
No, this is gonna be the
Okay, so
scientist
Jan's still
person.
the ostrich breeder.
I guess.
Okay,
And then we'll have Caitlin after Caitlin Snow from The Flash because she's a scientist.
okay.
But her
Caitlin.
personality is that of Killer Frost.
Oh god.
So basically, she's very intense, likes to stab people. Like, maybe not people, but like,
She likes stabbing things.
she's like, it's like, okay, we have to kill the chicken to order to eat it. She'll be like, me.
Yeah, and
You know what
the
I mean?
ostrich breeder's like, no! Okay, cool. So that's the final five.
Yeah.
Billie Jean. I love how it's all like girls. No guys. It's just Billie Jean, Dark Chocolate, Jan, and
Ooh.
Caitlin.
So maybe that's what Casey is thinking. Ooh, we'll vote out Dark Chocolate because he's the guy. Like, it's a girl alliance.
Oh, is Dark Chocolate a guy?
I thought so.
I thought she was a girl. I had Dark Chocolate as a girl.
I was gonna have him be a guy.
Oh my god.
Because his original name was Joe.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, because it was like Billie Jean and Joe
Okay.
were in my alliance or something like that.
Okay, so he's a male exotic dancer. Okay. 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 I had to put that in quotes, in quotations. Okay.
So
So
maybe that's what Casey was thinking.
this is the
that-
girl alliance, and they're like, "Yep, totally it." And then they're like, "Nope, Casey, you're out."
Exactly.
What did she? Okay, that I was gonna say, what did she do to get kicked out? But we already know she was so good at the challenges. Okay.
She was so good at the challenges, yeah.
Was she
So
too
they were,
likable?
like, they were probably going to originally do the girl alliance, but then, like, because they thought they would have to worry about Dark Chocolate
Yeah.
in the individual immunity challenges because he's, like, probably really strong and buff.
Yeah, he's like jacked.
Yeah. But it's really Casey.
Yeah.
Dude, at this point in her first season, she should have brought someone. Like a loved one.
Oh.
Because you know they have,
Yeah,
to have
yeah,
that
yeah.
loved one. So I feel like she would bring like Lizzie
Or her mom.
or her mom, but I feel like Lizzie would make more sense because Lizzie likes that outdoor stuff.
I think her mom would
I
have been
think
great.
bringing Derek.
No, you can't
would
bring
be too
Derek. You
much.
can't bring Derek.
But I feel like we need an outlet so that they know he exists
What if?
and they invite him to be a fan.
Well, what if? See, I was just thinking that what if they, like Lizzie or Nora, whoever it was that came on, and then Derek gets brought up, and she's like, "Oh my god, fuck, I hate Derek." Ugh. And then they're like, "Yo, we gotta get this dude on. This could be drama."
Ooh, maybe during the finale. That's what because they during the finale episode after they reveal who won, they have like a question and answer type of like thing going on. So what if they somehow found out about Derek and they were like, "So is it true that your brother?" And in case like stepbrother, it's like signed you up without you knowing. And she would say, "Yeah," and then like this is like getting like the network being like, "Ooh, this would be interesting.
Mhm.
This would be interesting."
Yes.
So that eventually, I wouldn't say it would be the next season, but maybe a couple seasons down the line, she gets asked to come back as a fan favorite.
Okay.
So obviously she's ecstatic. She's like, "Yeah, of course. I'll definitely come back." And she's like, "Oh, I'm a fan favorite."
Yeah, I'm a favorite, you guys.
And then Derek, she goes to tell Derek, and Derek's like, I'm debating whether he should tell her or not, and just like show up, and he's there.
That would be probably better. Like, I would like to see, like, it be a surprise, just because it'd be like, okay, here's your, because they get dropped off in separate places, right? So she'd be like, oh yeah, what up, yo? And like, yeah, we're the favorites. Yeah, we're gonna win this. And then they get into the first challenge, and they're like, here is your first look at the fans. And then she's like, damn, Rick!
Derek! Exactly, yes,
And then he's like, haha!
Amazing.
This is great.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
It's good. And then you know that automatically gets in her head, and she like does horrible in the challenge because she's like so shook from this.
So, well, I don't know what we did for this challenge. Like lagoon wrestle for the bag.
Okay, no,
thing?
because have you seen what was it? Was it China? You know Amanda, right? Okay.
Yes.
You know when they're doing, and I literally took it because it happened to her. So she's like, no, was it the lagoon one? Yeah. Anyway, it was not a lagoon wrestle that happened in. It was like they're like in a swamp or something. They had to like pull this huge ball across into like the other person's like goal. And in that one, she's like wearing like a bikini top or whatever, and her top comes undone, and she's like, "Oh no, my mom's gonna kill me," kind of thing, right? So I was like, "Oh, what if we do that, but do another challenge that happened in like heroes versus villains or whatever, or fan versus favorites?" And it was like, it was fan versus favorites, and they actually had to like, it was like 5 bags, and you had to get like a certain amount of bags in your zone at all times, kind of thing. That's why it was just 2 different challenges. But I took that scene from the China one where her top comes off, and then Derek will be shook.
That'd be funny because her top comes off, and then Derek obviously is just like,
yeah, exactly.
And then his whole thing loses.
Yeah,
Because of him.
exactly it.
But Derek is a charmer, so he doesn't go home.
Do you think he just charms like all the girls on his team?
Probably. They're probably like all in like love with him.
And she's like, "How can you like this guy? What the fuck?"
So then we eventually have Derek and Casey both getting sent to Exile Island.
Which is, again,
which usually after a challenge, a team will, or both teams, might send a person just to live in exile, and it's just supposed to throw the team off and throw them off. Like, because while you're on exile, you can find an idol. Or, obviously the people on Exile Island aren't sure what's happening at camp, so they can't strategize right. Like, it's just supposed to throw things in whack. So they're both on Exile Island, and romance blooms.
Of course. Of course it does.
Because I could see them arguing for, like, most of it. Like, Derek, get the wood, or, let's, like Derek doesn't want to do anything, and Casey's the only one doing it.
I have a question, though, because it is fan versus favorites. Can we see, like, Billie Jean or Dark Chocolate come back?
I don't know. It maybe in Hero vs. Villain.
Okay, let's continue then.
Because I feel like it'd be very funny if Billie Jean was a villain.
Yes, okay. Alright, let's continue fan versus favorites, okay.
Okay, so,
do you know who I want to cast as Billie Jean?
Huh?
I can't even think of her name.
Who?
I can't think of her name right now. Fuck! What's at the tip of my tongue? I got it. Let me just a second. Okay, I got it. Billie Jean, played by Meryl Streep. That's it.
Why? This is like why?
Because Meryl Streep can play anyone. And she would be a perfect nun called Billie Jean. Who has to be in an alliance with Dark Chocolate, who's going to be played by Idris Elba. Oh, what's his face? Idris.
Dude, what's his name? The guy from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Terry Crews? See, it's either that or Idris Elba.
Oh, jeez.
We'll make a poll. We'll make a poll.
Oh my
Who do you
god.
want to be? Dark Chocolate, Terry Crews, or Idris Elba?
No, we're not.
Yes,
No.
we're
All
doing
right.
it.
Anyway, so yeah, Derek gets to Exile Island. Their romance blooms. They end up kissing or whatever. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But also, while on the island, Derek finds the idol.
Yeah.
So not long after this happens, I guess the merge then happens.
Yeah.
And Derek and Casey they're like joined at the hip now at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like cuddle up to each other at night, and a lot of their other group members think that they're kissing.
Yeah.
So they think that's what's going to happen. But then they eventually do lead to like making out. That might be so awkward for like everyone involved.
Well, do you remember on the Fanverse favorites, it was Ozzy and Amanda, and then Cerie's like, "What is happening?" Do you remember that?
Yeah, I kind of like it, but it's like I know it happens, but it's like it doesn't happen very often.
No, it doesn't. I think that's the first time we've actually seen that happen. And they were
So
like,
anyway, Casey has like Derek like in the palm of her hand for the most part, and I think she's not doing it like she obviously likes Derek,
mm-hmm.
but she's also going to try to use that as an advantage to blindside him.
Mm-hmm.
So because Derek has that hidden immunity idol, she doesn't know about it, but she's going to try to vote Derek out.
Yeah.
But then someone else on the tribe, we got to think of another person.
Oh, okay. All right. So
he's a fan too. That's why he's like with Derek.
Okay.
They're both fans.
Okay. Are they like allies, Derek and this guy?
Yeah.
Okay. So they gotta have something in common. They're like friends and stuff.
They both played
He runs. He is a full-time commissioner for many fantasy hockey team league things. That's what he is. He stays at home, lives with mom in the basement, and he was the commissioner for a lot of fantasy hockey leagues. And his name is going to be Clay.
Okay, Clay.
Clay.
All right. So Clay, he tells Derek that it sounds like he's going to be voted out tonight. So he might want to try to find a hidden immunity idol. So Derek's like, okay, because no one knows about Derek's idol. So Derek's like, all right, well, I already have one, so I'll just play it tonight.
Yeah.
So he doesn't know, because they're going to obviously split the vote.
Mm-hmm.
Where, like, some will vote for Derek, and, you know, half of them will vote for someone else.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't know that Casey also voted for him.
Mm-hmm.
Because him, Casey, and maybe some other people, they were originally going to vote for some other person.
Okay.
Because that's who he thinks his alliance is. It's coming back to bite him in the ass.
It is.
He thinks he can trust Casey.
When they can never trust each other at home and stuff. They hate each other.
Well, no, because then he also, like, said, like, Casey, you didn't think they were going to vote you out?
Yeah.
So anyway, so it gets to that tribal council, and, you know, so Jeff's like, anyone have hidden immunity idols?
Play it now.
Shows his, and basically all the votes, except for like half of them, obviously, were all for Derek, and he would have gone home if he didn't have his hidden immunity idol.
Mm-hmm.
And like secretly, Casey's just like, shit.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? But then obviously back at camp, she's like, oh my god, I can't believe you almost went home. Like, she's going to play it.
Yeah,
up.
She's playing it. She's remember later on there's that Russell?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's basically Russell. She's playing people hard. And planting the seed.
So whenever Derek loses, we have to vote him out.
Mm-hmm.
So, but he doesn't lose, and it's getting to the point where there's only a few of them left. Maybe it's like at that final 5 again.
Okay.
So Derek wins again, And Casey comes up to him and is like, Derek, they're gonna vote me out if, like, I need something to, like, save me.
Mm-hmm.
So he gives her his immunity idol. Like, after everyone voted, then they asked, like, oh, who wants to play the
Yeah.
immunity idol? So
So
yeah.
so
Okay.
basically, Casey's like, "Yo, I'm getting this. Make sure to vote this."
Right. Make sure to vote Derek.
Yeah.
So everyone votes Derek, and he realizes that they wouldn't have known
Yeah.
if Casey didn't plan
Yeah.
this. So
Shit
it's
is
just like
getting
a
real.
big, like, shit hits the
Yeah.
fan stuff.
Yeah. This is legit.
Derek is livid.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets set on the jury. And Casey's in the final 2 or 3. It doesn't, like, it always changes.
Yeah. Let's just go
So
final two.
basically, it's final 2. Maybe that was, like, the final 5.
Is it her and
He
Clay?
got out, like, the same time she did, huh?
It's her and Clay in the finale.
Sure.
Her and Clay in the finale.
How did he get to the finale? I don't know.
I don't know.
Alright. So anyway, maybe Casey, like, basically, like, picked him to come because he's like, no one's going to pick him over me. I played the game. I did everything right. I outwitted, outplayed,
Outlasted, adapted.
outlasted all of them. Like, Clay just does things in his basement every day.
Yeah. Clay
Like,
doesn't do
he did
shit.
nothing on this island either. They're going to choose me. But the jury doesn't vote for her because of her villainous scheming.
Yeah.
She was too much of a villain.
Yeah.
Oi.
And then Clay wins. And then
And
he like
still lives in his mom's basement.
then he like just upgrades his like fantasy hockey
Yeah.
stuff. Like that's what he uses the money for. He has to get a better computer so you can like monitor his like leagues more.
Oh god.
Okay, so then we get to season 3, and that is heroes versus villains. And we already decided Billie Jean's back, right?
Oh yeah. She's gonna be a villain.
Okay, so Billie Jean's a villain. All right,
Yeah.
let's write that.
So Derek is gonna be back as a hero, and Casey is gonna be back as a villain. Like, they're gonna be the two main people that the show's gonna focus on because of how, like, much she backstabbed him. Okay, so at this point when they start this third season for Casey, Casey and Derek are together at this point.
Yeah.
Derek was livid after he got backstabbed, but then after the fact, he was like, "Well played."
Oh, she's just playing the game. She outplayed
Well,
me.
no, he was like, "I taught you well."
Yeah.
Like, he makes it like,
Yeah.
"I taught you well."
He's proud of her.
So yeah, so Derek is back as a hero. Casey's back as a villain, and the contacts are like, "Hey, we want you to be a villain in our hero versus villain season." And Casey is outraged that she is being asked to come back as a villain, while Derek has come back as a hero.
Yeah. The roles have switched here.
Oh, so it says Jeff makes a comment about Derek and Casey.
Yeah, because it's like, haha, look, they're together now. We brought them together or something. They hated each other. Now they're like together.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Because, like, it's like, you've gone past the point of, like, pure betrayal. And now you're here as hero and villain, but yet you guys are together.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's like, oh, that backstab thing, that's just an everyday Tuesday.
Yeah, that's a Tuesday. This is
And Jeff's
Wednesday.
just like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. My favorite thing about this in the info we written, we have him with his massive chicken legs. It says Derek has massive chicken legs. Someone, Jeff, makes a comment about it. Yo, what if some like other dude like maybe Dark Chocolate's back and he's like, bro, what are those legs? He's like, skip leg day. Does that make Dark Chocolate a hero or a villain? I think Dark Chocolate has a heart of gold in the end.
Oh yeah, he definitely would be a hero.
So Dark Chocolate's a hero, okay. And he makes a comment because Dark Chocolate's buff, as we know, because it's Terry Crews or Idris.
Yeah, he's buff as all hell. And he's like, dude, you played hockey and you have those chicken legs? They didn't snap like a little twig?
Yeah. So we got Dark Chocolate doing some pokes at Derek.
But Derek is only good at like physical challenges.
Yeah. Casey's
So
good at like physical ones. She's
thinking
decent.
challenges. She's decent at like the balancing stuff and the endurance stuff that usually happens towards the end of the
Yeah.
season.
So like
But
she's
for
good at
this,
thinking, good balance, but like she's athletic.
yeah, she
So
is.
she's decent.
She just doesn't have like strength as Derek probably has.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
so anyway, in this season, Derek eventually gets sent to redemption. So basically, in this season, a little bit before the merge, Derek gets voted out.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't part of Casey's Blake thing, um, because she's not on his team. But he's obviously a physical threat. They remember, like his team members remember that from his season when he was on, that he was just too good and he's like too charming that he's going to get sent to the end. Like he's going to end up in the end if they don't do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
So they vote him out before the merge. But this season they have Redemption Island.
So whoever gets voted out goes to Redemption Island, and then you battle the person there to stay. And then in the end, if you keep winning, you can get it back into the game.
Right.
So Derek's there, and he's like beating everyone who gets sent to like who gets voted out essentially, and then he comes back. So no one knows about it because they're not
Yeah,
told,
no one
right?
knows Derek's well, they sometimes know. They change it up every year.
But this
I would
season,
like
let's
the
say they
fact that
don't know.
no one would know.
Yeah, no one knows in this season.
So in this season, no one would know that anyone is coming back, especially Derek. So I would just say just as the merge is happening, or just a little bit after the merge, he gets sent back into the game, and everyone's like, "Oh my god!" Like he's still here, and
Mm-hmm.
obviously Casey is still there.
Yeah.
Her and Billie Jean are an alliance again.
Oh my god, Casey, wouldn't you have like learned your lesson?
It's a necessary evil
Yeah.
because they know each other and they're like cool with each other. But Casey, in the end, is gonna get her payback.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so she's gonna tell Dark Chocolate, yo, she was going to vote you out originally.
Yeah.
So I think you should team up with me and we can vote her out.
Yeah.
Cause you know what? I don't think she actually gave all that $1 million to a good charity.
Yo, she probably gave it to like a cult, like some Waco type shit,
Oh my
like a
god.
religious cult, like
Oh my
Waco.
god.
That's what I'm thinking.
Oh my god.
Like Billie Jean's got some
Okay.
shit going on, and we're here for it.
So anyway, eventually everything's fine. Somehow both Derek and Casey get to the final two, and it's them for the money.
And we don't have anything after this. Like we have no idea. So who do
I
you
don't
think's
know
gonna
who
win?
won. I think Derek would probably win.
Either way, they both
Just
win.
because, well, in the end, yes, they both win. So, but I think people are gonna think Derek probably deserves it more because he got voted out.
I want to say Casey is gonna win it, just because Casey's wild.
All right, guys, who do you think should win this one? Who do you think should win, Derek or
No,
Casey?
the polls for this episode are gonna be wild. Because first we gotta have. Oh wait, we didn't cast Clay yet. Who's Clay? Who's gonna play Clay?
We haven't casted like half these people.
No, the only ones that matter have been casted, and that's Billie Jean, Dark Chocolate, and now Clay, because they play a huge role.
I'm gonna just like Clay. Well, no,
Clay Aiken.
That's
Clay
No.
Aiken's playing his Clay.
Clay person. No, that's not gonna be what the results I want. It's just like
No, it's Clay Aiken.
no, it's not Clay Aiken.
Yes, it's perfect.
No, it's not.
He looks so much like a guy who would live in the basement of his mom's house.
No.
Hockey commissioner, this picture that popped up.
Listen,
Switch it.
he was the mayor, okay? No, it can't be Clay Aiken.
I think it would be great.
Who? No, for me, he looks like a nerd, but it's not like that. Like I picture someone different,
Okay, let me Google.
like a little bit less put together.
Less put together. Clay Aiken is not put together.
Yes, he is.
All right, let's think. Oh my god, what if... oh my
What?
god. Oh my god. Clay, we never specified how old Clay was, right?
No. Just that obviously his parents still have to be alive, hopefully.
Okay. Clay is a young Steve Buscemi.
Oh, what?
Steve Buscemi.
Oh my god.
Clay is a young Steve Buscemi. Okay, we're not changing it. That's what's happening. Clay is Steve Buscemi.
Oh gosh. Alright, whatever.
Okay, so the polls for this is who's dark chocolate, because we have 2 ideas, and who is gonna win.
Right. Alright. So then, yeah. So, I mean, in the end, they both win anyway.
Yeah, because they're together, so they both get
But
the
it's
money.
kind of just like who played the better game. And I
Yeah.
think they're both like, I can imagine the closing arguments that they both give, like, because Casey's like, I did this and I did that, and Derek was alone on like Redemption Island. Like he didn't have to do everything.
Yeah,
all
I think
day.
Casey played the better game. I think she should win.
And then Derek would be like, listen, Casey backstabbed me last time.
Listen, guys, she's a backstabbing bitch.
I wouldn't be even surprised if she somehow got the heroes to vote me out early.
Yeah.
And she's like, listen, I deserve this win. Casey doesn't. Like, he would probably say something very short and sweet, but somehow still convince the jury.
Yeah. He's being classic Derek, is what you're saying. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Either way, I don't care, but it's just funny. But also, okay, so now this has probably happened all within like a 5-year span.
Yeah.
These 3 seasons. Now, let's just say Casey and Derek get married. They're starting to settle down. They had like their first kid, maybe, or something. Something that's happening this season in Survivor is where they have 2 old players come back.
Oh, the idols, yes!
And like kind of like coach some of the new people coming in. And I think that would be perfect for Derek and Casey.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they should be those people, like, for another season, like, in this. So, it's funny because in this season, they have these huge statues
Derek would love that.
of their faces, and I could just see Derek being like, yeah, this is the good life.
Yeah. He's like, that's me. I'm loving it.
But they're just such good players, like, individually and together, that I think that they would just be perfect in those, like, mentor roles.
Yeah.
We don't know how it plays out in this season so far. So far, they've just been, like,
yeah, they don't
bringing
compete.
aside someone and kind of, like, coaching them on certain things. Like, one was...
The first one was they're teaching them this girl how to use fire, but then she gets challenged by this guy who's like made hundreds of fires, and then she's like, yeah, I'll do it, and then he's like, what a fucking idiot, you're obviously gonna lose. And
the
obviously
second one was just listening, like making sure you always listen to what people are saying, because it might come back and like help you in the end.
Yeah, so I feel like
and
that
then the last one was just kind of being like secretive, I guess, or like sneaky. I don't know.
I think that'd be good. I like it.
So yeah, I think that that would be a good thing to do, you know, down the line, like after they haven't been on the show for a little bit.
They're older, they're wiser. Randomly go camping and practice their fire making skills.
But like it'd just be so like it'd be like that like iconic, you know, Survivor couple.
I love it.
Because obviously, if they played again, I think either of them, they wouldn't make it as far. Nor would, if they were together, they would make it as far as anything. Because people would just be like, vote them out before they get anywhere. Because every time Casey has gotten to near the end, because she got Final 5, then Final 2, and then Final 2 again.
Casey's just a
and
really
Derek's
good player.
been in the
takes everyone by storm.
But yeah, so that's what we have outlined for this season, or for this like Survivor Daisy thing because I don't think I'm ever going to get around to writing it.
Oh man, this would be
If it's
100.
just too complicated to write.
And this, if anything, it would be the biggest comedy humor fic. You could not keep it.
Especially since we just created characters.
Yeah, like fucking Billie Jean the nun, Dark Chocolate the male exotic dancer, Chan the ostrich breeder, Caitlin who's a scientist but likes killing chickens, and Clay the full-time fantasy hockey commissioner.
Hold on.
Oh my god. I actually want to like hear what other people have to say about it. Like I want people to like message us back and be like, this was I think should happen, and like add little things, and it's like a community
Yeah,
story.
so even if whether you watch Survivor or not, just from off of what we said, what do you think? Like, obviously, who's gonna win, Derek or Casey? But also, like, what do you think other stuff could happen to them while they're on the island or anything like that? Um, Especially if you watch the show, like, what other stuff would you think would be interesting that they did?
Yo, you know what I want to hear? I want the fans, the listeners, to come up with a contestant and an occupation for
Yes,
them.
make a contestant.
Send us your like contestants and their like occupation backstory, like Billie Jean the nun, who's like part of a cult, a religious Waco cult.
I think Meryl Streep's actually been a nun.
She
Hold on.
Meryl Streep. I'm gonna Google
Hold on.
nun. Nun movie. Oh my god. She has been a nun. She was born for this role as Billie Jean. Oh my god. What is... Oh my god, I'm gonna watch this movie now. I'm gonna watch Doubt starring Meryl Streep and Philip Seymour.
Oh my god.
This is it.
I was just like really like interested. I'm like, probably won't happen. What are the odds? Apparently very good. So, alright.
Oh, iconic. Okay, so send us your characters that you have created and their amazing occupations. Like the podcast, listen, subscribe to it so you get it every time we post, which will be in like 20 years, most likely. Leave reviews. That's fun. It helps other people find the podcast. The more 5-star reviews we have, tell people. That's fun. If you know people who are like a fan of the show or like the pairing, but like they don't kind of talk about it because they're like, oh, this is something we don't want to discuss, still tell them about it. Because we are all friends here. We want to expand the fan base, and we want to get them people on the show.
So,
I'm going to literally... what if we were to get Ashley or Mike on the show, and then we're like, Survivor, what are your thoughts on...
Well, Mike watches Survivor.
Okay, well, we're going to pitch him this episode.
Because, like, he's a big Survivor fan. So I think that would be the perfect thing to ask him. Like, okay.
Like, we wrote...
What do you think Derek would do in Survivor?
We'll be like, hey, we wrote an episode...
A whole Daisy thing.
For Survivor, and here are our people. And then we tell them about Billie Jean, Dark Chocolate, Clay. Played by Steve Buscemi. Oh, man. But yeah, so spread the word. Give us your ideas of characters. Ooh, maybe give us suggestions. What do you want us to do? That's something to be cool.
Oh, yeah, because, besides the episode reviews that we do, is there other kind of, like, themic episodes you're interested in? Because obviously we've done a hockey one.
Yep, we've done Survivor.
We've done a Survivor one.
We're gonna have a TED Talk one.
Eventually down the line, whenever she... That's probably towards the end,
Yeah, because I need to gather all the evidence.
We still got ways to go before that.
Yeah.
If you just think, like, something that we can make a whole episode about that's not about an episode, definitely leave your thoughts, because we'll take them in consideration. Sometimes it's nice to have a little break from just reviewing episodes. So our next episode should be an episode review, and that's going to be on the Veturian candidate episode. So we'll try to do that on time. And yeah. So if you want to follow us on Tumblr, go to daisy.tumblr.com. If you want to follow us on Twitter, that's Oopsy Daisy Pod. And if you have any questions for that particular episode, leave it in the YouTube comments or send us something via Tumblr or Twitter. Okay? All right. Well, this is it. Bye bye.
Peace.